deaths and premature deaths occur in 2020 due to exposure to levels?
Air is what we breathe, one of the most fundamental ingredients of life, something that we often take for granted and polluted, making air pollution a major environmental health risk worldwide. One of these more dangerous air pollutants is fine particulate matter, which is composed of a variety of solid and liquid substances such as dust, pollen, ash, soot, dirt, and smoke. And it's mainly caused by vehicle emission, industries, construction activities, wildfire, and domestic heating, which is what we are focusing on. So PM2.5 poses a greater high risk than other particles because it is so small, it can get deep into your lung, damage lung tissues, and move even further into your body, reaching the bloodstream. Long-term exposure to fine particulate matter can be deadly, as it is related with strokes, heart diseases, pulmonary diseases, lung cancer, and acute respiratory infections. So PM impacts all living beings, but it also has an environmental impact. As many studies suggest, high amounts of particulate matter can alter environmental health by reducing visibility or making lakes or streams acidic, but it can also deplete soil nutrients and change nutrients balance in coastal waters, while also damaging crops or forests, and it can also contribute to acid rain and have an impact on biodiversity. So how can we know if the air we breathe is clean? Well, according to the World Health Organization, the levels of PM10 shouldn't exceed 15 micrograms per cubic meter per day, while for PM2.5, the daily limit is set at 5 micrograms per cubic meter per day. And as you can see, all of the cities exceed these levels. Take a look at Udine, where we came from, and Trento, where we are today. So, in Europe alone, we count up to 300,000 people who died prematurely due to PM exposure, while in the whole world, 4.5 million people died due to PM. And it is estimated that globally, over 90% of the world population is exposed to unhealthy levels of air pollution. Now, let's take a look at this graphic, which describes the main causes of PM10. As you can see, the level decreased over the year, but if you focus on the light pink color, which describes the non-industrial combustion, mainly involving domestic heating, you may notice that the level remained unchanged and also worsened over the last 10 to 15 years. You may be wondering why is that? This is because scientific research focuses on finding solutions for other causes. For example, developing electric cars or implementing industrial filters while neglecting the research for a widespread solution in this field.
We at UNIUD and we found a solution to this problem. Thanks to the electrostatic principle, we developed a simile capable of capturing almost 90% of PM carried by the smoke. But how does it work, our product? We use two main components, a positive electrode and a negative pole, which allow us to capture the PM. Firstly, we generate an electrical field across these two components. And as the smoke passes through this filtering chamber, it ionizes, which means it loses its electrons and becomes positive, so that it is attracted and captured by the negative walls. Finally, we are able to release air free from impurities. In the north of Italy, where there are a lot of wood and stove pellets used for heating, with only of one of our simili, we are able to capture almost 6 kilograms of PM in 1 year. These are 6 kilograms that not end up in our lungs. And, for example, if all wood and pellet stove in Udine have our product, we are able to capture 39.6% of PM emitted in 1 year. These are downgrade from 14 to 8 micrograms per cubic meter. We target SDGs 3, SDGs 8, thanks to creating new job opportunity on the local market, SDGs 11, and also SDGs 13, combat climate change.
The need to reduce air pollution is big, and so is the potential market. Only in Italy there are 8.3 million pellet and wood stoves. Only few companies that focus on these problems, and not a lot on this customer segment. They mostly operate abroad, and they have solutions that are quite expensive. But thanks to our innovative and functional design, we were able to offer a more affordable as well as safe and easy to use product. In the chart as follows, you can see our variable costs. As you can see, the structure and the power unit are both material costs, while labor and installation is the bigger one. And it is composed of assembly, transportation, and installations, which are also the ones on which we can have a higher influence. And that's why in the next month, we will focus to find solutions that will permit us to lower this cost. Thanks to the calculus of fixed and variable cost, we were able to calculate our break-even point. And to achieve it in the first year of the company, we'll have to sell about 150 chimneys. But maybe you're wondering, who's going to buy it? The most logical segment to target at the start will be the house owners that have an environmental mindset and that are also interested in technology. But thanks to our partnership with STEP, we'll further develop our business model and we'll start a dialogue with governmental institutions. While doing that, we'll also look for European fundings. The next step is to look at the circularity of our product. And we will develop and try to use the PM collected to transform it into fertilizer. While doing this, we'll continue to work on patenting the product. And finally, we'll work with an MVP for get feedbacks from the customers, finally getting to the final branch level. We are Blue Zone, and we want a world where everyone can breathe clean air, one breath at a time.
Thank you very much for the presentation. One question about the chimney. How is managed the collection of the nickel batteries? Is there a project in place with other items? How are these nickel batteries disposed then?
The particles accumulate on the walls, and as every normal chimney, it has to be cleaned. So the customer can do it, and we plan to have this part removed that can be opened. And obviously, we calculate that it has to clean 2 times in a year and not one as usually. But the particulate can be soaked with water and put in the ground, but we are working on it because there's 20% of chemical materials that need to be excluded to it because they are dangerous for plants, very damaged plants.
May I ask you if you have the estimation of the filter lifetime for a typical house in north of Italy, for example?
We haven't applied the filter for many years, so we don't have, but we have an estimation of the capacity. So the capacity of the filter remains the same till almost the little hand of the accumulation capacity. So in a year period, it has over 90% of efficiency, and if you don't clean it, only in the last few periods the capacity starts to decrease. But we don't have an evaluation of the years that we can resist, because it would be in steel, so probably the electrical part will be more problematic. Yeah, we wanted to build a competitive analysis on the annual report that you see, but we inserted only 2 companies because we were waiting the data that arrived just yesterday. And that company is Wecosol. It is a Swiss company, but they don't operate in Italy. And we found other companies that operate in Italy, and only one was in our segment, but now is closed. So we don't actually have competitors in the domestic fuel burning segment for reducing PM. And the other companies that works on reducing air pollutions are few, but there are, but not in our segment.
The time has expired.